So there are one way. There are 4 pillars that are given, it's like markers in the scriptures, and it's Shruti, Smriti, Yukti, and Atmanubhuti. Like Shruti is hearing about this stuff first of all. And maybe you heard Deepak Chopra, Raman Maharshi, Sadhguru, whichever, or each other, or listening. You said, I was listening to Osho. There's no way around it. Like everybody unanimously says you have to hear first. And that's satsang, whether we call it Gita or whatever. Some people call it lecture, whatever, reflection. But Shruti. And so reducing the outer noise, as I was saying during then, and really funneling it down to hearing about this, hearing about this topic, hearing about the truth. If you are not listening to this right now, you would have been listening to something else. No matter how glorious, it would not be about the spiritual topic. But unless it was another someone about this topic. But even the chirping of the myna would not be talking about the soul, or listening to just the ocean waves or whatever. No matter how glorious and how beautiful, it's still outside noise. So that's Shruti. Are you committed to Shruti? The first question to ask yourself. If you want it, what are you willing to give? Whatever you have received, you've been willing to pay a price. Whether it's a home or the shirt you're wearing, whether it's something that you got for your daughter or something that you gave to a beggar on the street, there was a price to pay. You had to part with something. You had to let go of it. You sacrificed something to have something else. And if you're saying, yeah, I want this, I want to experience this, are you willing to? Are you willing to let go of all other clamor and clutter and focus on this? No? So first is Shruti. And you've heard a lot. You've come to the 18th chapter. You've been committed to this for more than 10 years. So this is enough. I am telling you. You've been coming to my Gita reflection. This is more than enough, 10 times over than what you need. So then where's the problem? The second is Smriti. Do you keep it in your awareness? What I have heard, Shruti ke baad Smriti. Do I make an effort to remain aware of it? Smriti is memory. Do I remember it? Anytime that opportunity comes, anytime the challenge comes, do I tell myself, do I remind myself that, wait a minute, the choice I'm about to make, the way I'm thinking about this, I'm already seeing division. I'm already seeing he say, she say. Part like divisive. I was supposed to be unitive. Inclusive, not exclusive. No. So Shruti, Smriti, and then the third pillar is Yukti. Am I personalizing it? Am I making it my own? Am I coming up with my own ways of interpreting it? Am I coming up with my own ideas, with my own thoughts? Yukti samajhte na? So actually it comes from the word yog. Itna yog karte hai. The root is yunjan, which is connected, welded. Yukti is figuring out some way to not part from what I've now understood. Figuring out ways to constantly be welded to it, constantly go towards it. If chanting helps, then chanting it is. So every time I say Krishna, 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 it's helping me, it's reminding me that what am I talking about? What is the main topic? No. That putting others first. What I'm talking about is putting others first. One way for me to erase myself. Forget who Deepak Chopra is. Putting others first. Am I putting others first? Whoever that other is. No. Am I putting that other? Machar ho, chiti ho. Am I putting that machar first before me, or am I swatting it? Because me first. No. And there may be other ways to shoo the machar away, or however, or so. So that's one example. But yukti is the different ideas. The whole menu, the slew of ideas, the ways to personalize it, internalize it. And then the fourth one is Atmanubhuti. So Shruti, Smriti, Yukti, and Atmanubhuti. And what that means is like feeling that within, cultivating this habit, this practice through meditation, through whichever way, through reflection, through solitude, ekantavas, giving it the chance to rise within yourself. Clearing the space, the inside, for it to finally settle down. Whatever you've been hearing about, whatever you've been thinking about, whatever you're processing and personalizing, giving it a chance to settle, to securely lodge within. That's Atmanubhuti. There are also other ways. Patanjali Yoga Sutra is a helpful path also. The Ashtanga Yoga ki jo sadhana hai, don't associate that with only asana or only hatha yoga. Ashtanga Yoga is not the same as hatha yoga. What that means is that the path of yoga is not to do very difficult postures, which is why it is actually a smart idea to take a pillow behind you. It is actually wise to sit on a cushion. And Ashtanga Yoga, like the Hatha Yoga would say, no, you should be able to like sit erect in Padmasana, all that, and you should be hanging upside down. Maybe for some. There's no guarantee that you'll experience God through Hatha Yoga. But the Ashtanga Yoga means it starts elsewhere. It's yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. Those are the 8 paths. And so I will ask you, you want God, you want to experience God, are you first of all yama? Yama is the external, yama danda kehte. The God of death ka jaisa danda. Do you have this fear of death? I don't want to do this. Have you made some external rules? I will not. Thou shall not. The 10 commandments jo hai, thou shall not steal. Thou shall not covet. Thou shall not jo bhi hai. Bahar se jo khane peene ke jo bhi niyam lagaya ho. Whatever are conducive, because see, this is a patli gali, you have to shape up. You have to condition yourself. You have to condition your mind, not the body. But the body helps. Shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam, Ved says. It is through this human body that you will finally achieve the purpose of life, existence. And so body ko bhi shape rakhna hai. Therefore, khane peene par bhi dhyan rakhna hai. So yama. What kind of rules do you have in your life? If I were to ask you, you don't have to answer it. Do you have any rules that you're living by? And then niyam is the internal rules. Yam are external rules, outside imposed. Niyam is internally vrata jo kiya hai maine. I'm not going to. They're like internal resolution. Yam and niyam ke baad, then am I shaping up, conditioning my body? Asana. Some basic practices do I have. It could be stretching, it could be running, it could be whatever keeps your energy level, your breathing even, regulated, moderated, which then naturally leads to pranayam, the control of the breath. Because the breath is undeniably connected with thought. In fact, thought rides on breath. And जो breathless होता है वो thoughtless भी हो जाता है. Dead man, not breathing, is also not thinking. As soon as a child is born, starts to breathe, उसको थप्पड़ लगाते हैं, start breathing. The child also starts thinking. Does not know what I am thinking, is not able to process it, but starts to think also. Thoughts ride on breath. If I am trying to control my thought, I have to control my breath. The most effective way of controlling thought easy way is by controlling my breath. And there are examples of that but that's not my field, that's not my element. I'm not an expert in it. I'm not a practitioner of it, so I will just limit it to this much. But I have studied enough and I have participated enough to know the power behind it, the truth behind it. इसलिए ये जो सदगुरु के या art of living के क्रिया योग सुदर्शन क्रिया, they're actually powerful. They're like real tools. They're very, very powerful, very real. They have absolutely have the power to take you close to the truth. Fortunately, I experimented with those. I did some of those. I did not need those to as crutches to take me there. तो ये जो यम, नियम, आसन, प्राणायाम, उसके बाद प्रत्याहार आता है. The fifth one, pratyahar. Pratyahar is doing the opposite of what the mind says to do. So if I'm able to make the leap, jump without needing to do pranayam, I got it. When someone said, I got it where this is going. I see where this is going. Let me just try that. If you're able to do the opposite of what mind says, prati is the opposite, ahar. Whatever the mind wants to take in. I want to eat this, and you say, no, that's the one thing you're not going to eat today. I feel like watching this movie. No, you're not going to watch the movie today. Whatever the mind says for a period of time, if I'm able to control by doing the opposite of what the mind says, then the realization dawns automatically that, well, I am obviously not the mind. I'm obviously someone more powerful than the mind because I'm able to control the mind. And control as in regulate. Control as in moderate. जैसे the gas oven, जिस पर रोटी सेकते हैं, there's a dial underneath it. You control it. You control the dial. Increase high, low, medium, medium, high, low, simmer करके, so that it doesn't burn and you get the right amount. When I'm able to regulate and moderate my mind like that, how much do I want to indulge? How much do I want to jump? How much do I want to eat? How much do I want to talk? Where do I want to go? Where do I not? When you have control over that, that's pratyahar. That is when one is actually ready for dhyana, which is the 6th stage of spiritual practices. Because then when you sit, your breath is aligned, your thoughts are quiet, and your mind is moderated, regulated, and you say that I want to pinpointedly pay attention on one single thought, whether it's God, whichever, right? Some shlok from the Gita. And when that becomes natural, then there is dharana, which is like wearing it, as if always I am in dhyan, as if I don't now need to sit down and close my eyes. Like I'm wearing this shirt, this kurta. That's a dharana ho gayi. It has become, it goes with me. Is it? And now the final stage, the 8th is samadhi, which is like a steady state of mind, a constant state of being, a constant state of mind, regardless of all external circumstances. Internally, I'm all just the same. So, though that's another. The one was the Shruti, Smriti, Yukti or Atma Anubhuti. The other was this Ashtanga Yoga ki jo sadhana hai. Aise alag-alag aate hai. There are others that I can also share. A quick formula for myself that I landed on is thodi Gita, thoda dhyan. But very committedly, very devoutedly. These are distractions, Dushanbhai. The cricket will take you away from it, from where you want to go, what you want. It will never fulfill you. It will half fill you, maybe quarter fill you, maybe very pitifully fill you. This is time pass. You're fast forwarding your death. I'm your brother, and therefore I must tell you the truth as it is. Otherwise, I'm less than your brother. No. So your priorities have to come back in that life. What is the first and foremost? What do you want first? Do you want temporary joy? Do you want to pass time? Do you want to kill time? Do you want to feel good? Or do you want to just have it all first? And then with or without. And then Krishna says, with you or without you. Arjun ko. Nimitta matra bhava sabvisatya. This is going to happen with you or without you. And so when that burning desire takes place, my time is passing. This is an opportunity for me. I'll set everything aside, and I'm going to experiment. Maybe give yourself a year. Like a year is a long time. This experience can be had in less than a year of your pakki baat, Satchidananda Swarup ka jo anubhav. Ultimately, Raman Maharshi, Sadguru, Osho, Ravi Shankar, whomever, ultimately what they experience, their oneness, is that Satchidananda Swarup. It's not a word. It's not a name. It's a state of being. It's a principle. You see me faltering on words. There's no way to describe it. It's existing. It's tattva. It's a principle. So jaise pani, fluidity, if I said this is a fluid, he said this is a beverage, suppose. Beverage can mean 1,000 things, whichever beverage. But people understand when someone says beverage that it's a fluid, it's going to flow. It's a principle, right? Sanjeev bhai, following, right? It's a principle. It's the description of a state of jo vastu, solidity, liquidity, gaseous state. Gases are 1,000, liquids are 100,000, solids are 10,000. Well, the forms are like so like that. Men and women and animals and that's not it. But liquid is a liquid. All the liquid, no matter which liquid it is. When I say liquid, there is this one that it's going to flow, and I leave it. However you want to associate liquid with. And I say gas. So those are principles. Usko tattva kehte hain, है ना? तो फिर the variations don't matter, and the state of being liquid, the liquidness, is in every liquid. No? If it's a liquid, the state of, I know this is crazy talk. I understand this doesn't, yeah.
It definitely makes sense.
So So who you are, Bhaiya, the real you, isn't this one objectified, embodied one thing. You're not a thing. You are the principle that is in everything. And that you're the one that is in everything. And so to get to that, it has to be a very clear mind, sharp intellect, very focused attention. Because ये बहुत ज़्यादा सूक्ष्म बात है. It's the subtlest of the subtle, as it has been described. In the slightest distraction will take you away from it. And therefore you have to keep coming back at it again. It's abhyasena tu kaunte. Krishna's formula, to answer your question, at the end of the 6th chapter, vairagyena chugrayate. Abhyas and vairagya. How seriously, how dedicatedly am I practicing that constantly? And how am I committed to vairagya? Virag is the opposite of rag. Rag is liking, wanting, this, that. Vairagya is being okay without it. Vairagya is not disliking it, hating it, sacrificing it, running away from it. Vairagya is not the person who runs away from anything. Vairagya is the person who is okay with it not being there. Okay with it being there. I didn't ask for it, and I'm not asking for it to be not here. That neutral state of mind. So are you practicing that? Are you practicing commitment to this? That's what Krishna says to Arjun, because Arjun asked the same question. That lecture, the word lamba chauda de diya tune, lekin mere se nahi hota ye. I see he literally says, I see no way for it to happen. Challenges him. This is like crazy talk. Like how can this be? Like, what are you talking about? Like, control your mind. Who can control their mind? I can control the wind. You remember that, right? I cannot control my mind. And he sympathizes. Asanchayam mahabaho manodur nigraha. You're right, he says. You're right, Arjun. It is very difficult to control the mind. And yet, he says in the second line of that, abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chagrayate. You can bring it under your control. You can hold on to it. You can harness it with this formula. That's his formula. So any of these, and there are many others, like just through different gurus will give you different formulas. But these are all, the sadhana is all the means. So pick your sadhana. As when I said in the beginning that the different sadhanas are differently natural for other people. So I started on the path of Jnana Yoga, because Jnana will take you ultimately, absolutely. And I started very strongly on the path of Jnana Yoga, like super strongly, analytically, like ruling it. And it took me to a certain point where I absolutely understood and imbibed the meaning and like the feeling of Satchidananda. Isliye, like I talk about it so much, like you just use the word, because I like it. You got it. And then I realized, to go back to the purpose point of it, like, so what? I was left with so what? That's when I was attracted towards Krishna and the purpose and the aspect of love that you talked about, Falguni Ben, that the purpose behind it, and then the why. Why even that? So my encouragement for you is like, figure out what's natural. If you like to do asana, if you are the pranayama type, then sign up. Maybe like start somewhere. If you're not that type, like I wasn't, I did lots of pranayams, I did asana and all that, but I was not sustainable for me. I realized that this isn't. Plus, it was taking a long time, and fortunately, you were able to jump across and then get into the dhyana mode. And once I started into dhyana, then I realized, okay, well, this I can do. And then when I stumbled across Gita on this path, it started to make sense. And then when I started to meditate, what I learned in the Gita would start to come to life in me. And because of that, when I would read the Gita, same shlok next time, something else would come out of me. And that's when I realized my formula for myself was thoda dhyan, thodi Gita. But that's just for myself. Everybody can have variations of that. But the bigger point is, pick one that's natural for you, that makes sense to you. There's no need to blindly follow anybody. You have as much of the same Paramatma and the power as in Osho, as in Sadhguru, Raman Marchir, Paramahansa Yogananda. The one hair less in you would be an utter lie. कि अरे ओशो में एक बाल ज़्यादा था परमात्मा का मेरे से, ऐसा कह दिया तो इससे बड़ा झूठ नहीं हो सकता. Biggest lie ever uttered. And so therefore figure this out. How am I going to connect with my original identity? There are other paths also. Again, I've been saying again and again, and if none of these resonate with you, you try this, then we can लेकिन primarily there is ज्ञान योग, and the अष्टावक्र गीता पढ़ रहे जो हो उसमें भेड़ अगर जाओगे तो वो has full power to take you to the final point of ज्ञान. There is no ज्ञान beyond Ashtavakra Gita. That the full experience of Satchidananda. Janaka Raja, they heard exactly what you're reading. And he said, okay, got it. And as he was climbing the horse, one saddle by 1 foot as he's doing the other, he's like was stunned. It's like became like a statue. He said, oh, I get it. That's how the story goes. And then he came down. And that's when he went back to Ashtavakra and said, oh my goodness, what you have given me. I know I am the big king of Nepal, which he was at the time, that northeast region. I see nothing that I can give you. And therefore, here is my crown that I keep at your feet starting today. I'm going to the forest. You now are the king of this. And Ashtavakra laughed and said, what am I going to do with the kingdom? I don't want your kingdom. You are the king. And he said, no, I cannot. You have to take this. I cannot rule anymore because I've understood that my kingdom is not limited to this. I am the king of kings, or at least I'm one with the king. Gyan Marga will give you the experience that you are it. Tat Tvam Asi. Right? You are that. Or the feeling inside that Aham Brahma Asmi. I am that Brahma. You are that Brahma. This is that I have no need for it. So, and you are my guru. So Ashtavakra says, okay, I'm a Brahman, I'll take this gift. Now, you call me Guru, here is my order for you as my Shishya. Take it back and rule the rest of your life. But from here on, this is my Raja, not your Raja, remember that. So you're no longer the king, and you're not, this isn't your kingdom, and yet you will fulfill the duties of a king in the most fantastic way, because this is your Guru's आज्ञा. See, Guru, इसके बाद में just जैसा राज्य किया जनक राजा ने, stood even today, given his example of nobody has ruled like Janak ruled his kingdom, because he ruled as his guru's endowment for him. So that's what Gyan Marga will do. Karam Marga will you will realize that all karma, there is really nothing I had to do. Everything that I was doing was only to realize the one and all, and therefore whether I do or not do. But for that you do have to let go. इसलिए कर्मणेव हि अधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. Not for myself, right? Constantly putting others first is a simple formula for karma yoga. Put others first. Just that. In everything I do, anything that I do. And then bhakti yoga obviously will put you on the path of love. That I don't need to know, I don't want to know, maybe I will never know, but I have fallen passionately, madly, just so much in love with this thing called God that I'm possessed, I'm obsessed. My mind can think of nothing other than God. जैसे वो नदियाँ सागर में एक हो गई, like lost its own identity and its own form and just became one with that. So, and then ultimately all three, it is a myth. The biggest myth is that Jnanis have a different experience, Karmis have, or Karma Yogis have a different experience, and Bhakti Yogis have a different experience. Not so. That is the stop before the final experience. The final experience of all of them is love alone. Pure, uncontaminated, judgment-free, expectation-free, condition-free, caste-free, just free love, pure love. So फिर वो ज्ञानी भी प्रेम में हो जाते हैं, कर्मयोगी भी प्रेम में, और भक्ति योगी भी. Then that's no bigger. That is the purpose. You're here just to love. You ask me what's the purpose. You're looking for a purpose. इतना सामने से कह दिया मैंने सीधे से. I just told you your ultimate purpose. I mean, trust me if you do. There is no bigger purpose. It's not anything other than just to love. One word. Now figure out what that means and who are you going to love and how are you going to love. Don't ever stop loving. There's no other reason why you're here. There's nothing else. Nothing else will give you more fulfillment. Nothing else will make you more happy than to love. See the magic of it. Try it. See what happens to you. You will have erased Madhvi. You will have been erased. You too will look back and say, where is Madhvi? I don't see her. That's when you will have become one with God. Because there is only that one. There are no fragments left in that experience. So I know I said a mouthful.